Just a few short weeks ago, I was attending this show out in Chicago, the Wind Up Show, put on by Warren and Wound. Right now, there were some big names there. Of course, you had G-Shock and Oris, but there were a ton of micro brands. Some that people know, some that they don't. And I'll be lying to you if the company that we're talking about today, the Dufrane watch company, I had no idea that they even existed. But boy, am I glad I found them. So today, let's get into the Travis.
This is so dope, a man with a watch looking like he broke the bank.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the Travis. Now, before we get started, this particular watch has been featured on a number of YouTube channels. A few of these channels received the prototype. I want to point out as we look at the watch, and we're going to get into the details. We'll get into all the features, man. But one thing I want my viewers to know, everybody that has frequented this channel, or if you're new here, most of the people that have watched this channel know that I've collected Aragon, I've collected Deep Blue, and especially Invicta. That's how I got this channel. So how did I come up with this? Well, another Invicta collector said, hey bro, you might as well try some micro brands. And from the very first micro brand, which was eGuard, which I tried, I fell in love with, meeting the watchmakers, which this guy right here, Steven, awesome guy. I met his sons, dope guy. They even gave me this cool hat. But what is it about the watch? Well, outside of any other dive watch, it may have the side profile of like a Tudor, the coin edge. I mean, look at the bezel. Now, this is a sapphire crystal. The insert, sapphire. You see no numbers on this watch, but for the first 15 minutes of the watch, there's just an orange line that goes to it. And it is very tight, very audible. I like it. Zero play whatsoever. Now, the beauty of the dial. Let's hold on. Let's get a closer look at it. That is like something decent. Just seeing that, I know the T is covered up, but I know that it says Travis Automatic, 656 feet. So you can't go swimming and diving in this watch. Are you going to use it as like dive equipment, like you would do a let's say a Tudor maybe? No, but you can go swimming in this watch, no problem. But again, for somebody like me and people like me that have collected larger watches, and let's get a readout on this real quick. So it's reading like 40.6. And if you just do the bezel action itself, you're looking at like 38.4. That's just the bezel. Now, how does somebody that goes from wearing 48 millimeter timepieces, 50 millimeter timepieces, go to something that wears 40 millimeters? And the biggest thing is different than a big box store brand for me. It's not an Omega, it's not an Oris, which I made a comment about this being more important than that, or the Oris Kermit. I was kind of joking, but then I'm not, because I saw it, and I'm not taking anything away from that watch. But this one right here is so different, man. Now, if you see, you have like I don't know if that's aluminum or stainless steel cut out. So the chapter ring, that thing is, look at that, it's textured. And one thing I like about the Dufrane name is the symmetry. That's the thing about that. I don't know what that symbol means. I will have to dig into Steven's category. He has a number of videos online. Now, we do know that some people do not buy watches off of emotion. They don't buy the watch because of the website is dope or whatever. But the micro brand space, that's kind of important. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, it is important to see what is the backstory of these watches. What inspired these people to make it. So you got a screw down crown, which is signed. And here's the sweet part. This thing is what they call DLC coded, and they have this system called the D system, the Dufrane system, I guess, but D for short. I'm gonna show you something on the inside. Hold up, can you see that? Focus, 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 focus. Oh, let me get a closer look. Let me. Oh, you see right there, right there. Deep protected. So this thing is 5.5. Was it 5.5 times stronger than just regular 316L steel, which is going to give you like longevity in this watch to beat it up, desk dive in it, so you can scratch it. And everything is coated. This bracelet is brushed, but you see it's polished on the sides. Chamfered. I've heard the people say that chamfered. I've always just said, man, that's a nice design that goes along there. But I mean, dude, you got beautiful polish, but then just that thin, look at that thin line. And in the sunlight, direct sunlight, this thing shows out, man. But I want to show you something. My favorite part of this watch. Let's see if it'll capture it. A little bit. Okay, right there. You see that texture? The lines going crisscross a little bit. That pattern reminded me of my mother had a tablecloth that had that same pattern back in the late 70s, early 80s. And that's what I grew up on. You know, and we had different colors, but we had a green one. We had one for the basement. And that's what this reminds me of. But overall, this watch, like, scratched the itch I didn't even know I had. I know I like dive watches. I know I love to see the finishing touches. And on the case back, screw down, that Texas star, which I didn't mention. This watch is an Austin, Texas watch. It is American made. America. And let's look at, what does it read on the back? Designed and assembled in Austin. 316L, 800 Vickers, Swiss automatic, 20 atmospheres. And mine is number 150, which is a great number. Now, this is a no date Salida 200-1. And I mentioned on my unboxing that it may have had a ghost date because of the positions once you unscrew the crown. But trust and believe, it don't have any of that. You good to go. Now, let me set this watch. Oh, hold up. This watch is so easy to, look at this. You pull these, pull those out, and watch this. I'm going to set this down right here. And I'm going to show you what it came in. Signed case. And you actually come with, hold up, I have to pull these out so you can see them. And of course, my links because it's sized. And this is my watch. It wasn't linked in by the Dufrane watch company. This is the strap that comes with it. You see the system that it has. Very easy. But then you look at the hardware. Look at that. That's beautiful. And if you're wondering, for those that are wondering, why do I have Random Rob's coin in there, or poker chip? Well, Random Rob was one of the reasons why I got this watch. Him and members of his Discord were at the Chicago show, and we walked over, met with Steven again, because I did talk to him before, but like very briefly. We had a great conversation, and I purchased this. So this is, let me show you this. Look at that. Look at that. In here. So here we have, thank you for trusting Dufrane. I hope you enjoy your new watch, and please let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Your watch was finally tested on 7/15/23 and was keeping +1. Ooh, look at that. Seconds per day. This is a nice touch, and this is literally, I'm going to just call this my birthday watch because that is just a couple days after my birthday. This is the owner's manual. I mean, where does this watch fit in your collection? The thing about this watch, what I say is very unique, is for people like me that have been collecting larger watches for a long time and now getting into something smaller at the price point. I'm used to paying about $200 to $300 for a watch. Well, this one exceeds that. All right, I only have a few watches that break that $500 mark. Okay, and was I comfortable with that? Well, after listening to what goes into the watch, knowing what I have at home in my collection, I didn't have something that I felt was, well, which really was touched by a watchmaker. And if you listen to Steven's videos, he learned a lot about this. He wasn't like a design artist or anything like that, but he learned a lot. And this is named after a lake in Austin, Texas, right? So the thing about this watch is it's the essence of Texas, which I've been a few times, and the fact that it was built in America, even though it has a Swiss-made movement in it, is still what we get excited. Well, some of us still get excited for. This right here, I just imagine. Can you imagine being in the 40s and 50s and being able to obtain a watch? Well, here's the deal. I have something. This is a serious piece of hardware. For everything that you see on this watch, I mean, I don't have to sell it. And my thing is this right for your collection? Maybe, maybe not. You know, this is definitely different. And I would call this a recreational diver. I have worn this watch to out with my kids. I took my son out. As you can see here, this was me just wasting coins at a machine. And I have literally just worn this out for the past 3 weeks. Well, we're in August now. And I've enjoyed this watch. It has not stopped running since I've had it. And, oh, I do have to mention this, because if you do look at some of the videos, which I'll put a link to those videos down in the description. If you look at that, you see that right there? Once you get through sizing, hold up, let's get focused. Screws, you get a size to you, and if you still need to make on fly, you see that you press that and it goes in. But when you need to come out, easy peasy. Now, I know my man, Average Joe, had a problem trying to use his, man. It was hilarious. He was like, I can't get it. But overall, man, I think this watch is dope. Now, mentioning Average Joe, this watch, when he did it last year, when he reviewed this watch last year, this watch was, I think he said it was around $500. Well, inflation or just the cost of materials have crept up, and this watch right now is $699. My recommendation to you, go on the website, sign up for the newsletter, and see if there's, this is my first time ever dealing with this company, so I don't know how many sales they have per year. If anybody has that information, please put it down in the description below. But as it stands, this watch is $699, and what you get for it, please look at the description. Matter of fact, here, let me just blast it across the screen. This watch has a lot of goodies in it, but for me, there's 2 elements for this watch. It got my name on it, so that was a no-brainer. 2, I love green. Well, I guess there's some other features. The hardness, man. Like, when he told me about the hardness, and I know it's not the hardest in the industry, but I was like, you know what? This is a serious watch. This is a timepiece that I will pass down, because, you know, my children, as they watch and know what I'm about with these, you know, with my timepieces, there'll be particular ones they say, hey, you know, Dad really liked that particular one, and that's the one I want. So this is one of those. I'm putting it in my top. Yes, this knocked a lot of my other watches out of position, so this is in my top 10 most worn watches, favorite watches, grail, if you will, for me, not for you. No argument there. So you tell me, guys, what y'all think? What do y'all think? And this string actually came. This is the Dufrane string, so it came out of Austin, Texas too. So that goes along with the display. Yeah. So if you made it this far in the video, congratulations. You won the prize of making it to the end. That makes you a trooper on YouTube, because I know attention spans are short here. Very short. Mine is too. So I don't blame y'all if you didn't make it. Anyway, go down in links in the description. It will send you to all of the YouTubers that I referenced in the beginning of this video. It will send you to the Dufrane watch company, most importantly, and you make the decision if you want to buy this watch or not. Here, and I'm putting this back on because this is the end of the video and I didn't have a watch on. So my watch of the week, that Dufrane. Until the next lightning strike, ladies and gentlemen, y'all be blessed.